All week we're getting complaints from our neighbors.
I have not heard a single thing because I'm staring at this mole on her forehead. Literally, I have no idea what she said. I'm like, mole. Nice to mole you. Meet you.
Welcome to another episode of Once Upon a Bnb. This is Ian.
This is Maha.
And we're starting off with some clip reviews and stuff like that. Actually, no, I wanted to get into a news story.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first of all, let's play the trailer because they released a documentary on it. This documentary is called One Day, and it's an allusion to the 100 men that this influencer, porn star, OnlyFans girl had sex with.
In one day?
In one day.
Jeez.
At an Airbnb.
Oh, wow.
That's the tie-in.
I'm Lily Paulette, and today I'm getting run through by 100 guys.
The world of through.
That's a little slutty, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it?
I think they're going to explain it right in the beginning, because I think this is just the documentary.
Oh, my God. So this isn't the
I
actual
was looking
porno
for a
of her
trailer.
getting...
No, this isn't the compilation of the 100 guys running through her.
But that is a movie, I assume, right? Like, there is a porn of her getting banged by 100 dudes, or not really?
I think it's probably spliced up on her OnlyFans. I don't know. I'm not a subscriber.
Okay.
But this...
Goon Squad production.
So this guy, this nerd, I think he has the biggest crush on her and is like wants to save her the whole time.
Oh.
Shoes off house or shoes on house?
Shoes on, honestly.
That guy.
Shoes off. She's fucking 100 dudes. Shoes
There's
are the
gonna
last
be
of their
jizz
words.
all over the floor.
Right.
And there is a scene later when they come in afterwards and like there's just condom wrappers everywhere.
YouTuber, so I'm like, I'm a
YouTuber, and so you're my first girlfriend.
It says 1 month before. 1 month before banging the 100 dudes?
Yeah, so like he
Okay.
follows her, and then like, she's like, I'm gonna love it. Actually, I just love cum or whatever. Like she talks about it, and then it made the news because like at the end he's like prodding her with questions after like the deed's been done, and she like kind of breaks down a little bit.
Oh, damn.
And then later she's like, I mean, it's been a 14-hour day. You know, anyone coming home a 14-hour work day.
14 hours, 100 dicks. I mean, it was a lot.
And they're stressing throughout the documentary because they had a lot of dudes back out last second, so they're like,
Damn, now it's only 97 dudes.
they had to hit the 100. She
Yeah.
wasn't gonna stop till she hit the 100.
Wow.
And so they like that was
Perseverance.
part of the plot, you know, like she was like and so that's why
Is it a world record? Is it like a Guinness Book thing?
I think
or
so.
Just,
I-
okay.
She's now gonna 10x it. She's on to
1,000 dudes? There's not enough time in the day.
24 hours.
Oh.
Still doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well,
but
yeah, that's the
she-
same
all right,
as
so
one
she
day.
was
What do you
doing-
mean? One day is
Yeah, but-
24 hours.
I know that, but like she's giving herself the full 24, like she's not gonna sleep. Like this was just like from sun up to
Oh.
sundown and a little bit extra time, but she was given 5 minutes to every fan, and
It's fans that get to bang her.
well, whoever asked, you know.
Whoever asks nicely.
Well, they're posting about it, and then they're like,
Okay.
like some people are like flying in, so they like locked up their 100 spots. I don't know if they had a good like alternate juror situation.
Right.
And then they're
Call in
posting
the
about-
alternates.
and they were like hitting up. They were like, "Do you have any friends?" You know, and like I'm sure half the people are like, "I don't want anyone to know that I've done
Yeah,
this."
exactly.
But,
because the 100 people are on camera, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
faces showing and everything.
I don't know. Again, not a subscriber, but
You gotta subscribe.
you're right, honey. It's for work.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, and then they came in a couple like so. Well, let me back it up. We reached out to, or Trey reached out to her already, right?
Yeah.
And she did not respond to our messages.
Yeah.
We need to wait till she's filming for the
1,000,
1,000 guys.
yeah.
Then we slide in there, and that's so we can get her attention. Be like, well, no, you don't
Do
want
we
to be.
sign up to be one of the guys?
And show up like,
to get her
actually,
attention? Right.
here's our-
Actually, do you want to be on
here's
our
our
podcast?
mics.
Right.
It's actually not my cock. It's a microphone. Yeah. I mean, whatever it takes to get her on the podcast.
Right,
I
I'm
guess.
down.
But all right, so then as far as the Airbnb, I'll bring it back to that. But there was a scene. So the day of, like, he gets there, like that fucking nerd YouTuber gets there right on time.
Yeah.
And so he's there, and he's like the first one there. And he's like, oh God, where's Lily? And he's all like worried about her, even though he doesn't want her to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And then the next person to show up wasn't Lily. It was another one at the first
One of
guy.
the 100, yeah.
Number one. Although
Number
that's
one.
probably, if you're gonna have to, if you're gonna be a part of that, I
You
think.
definitely want to be number one.
Yeah.
Maybe number two. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Draw the line at like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's.
Imagine being number 100.
They
Ugh.
they interviewed a couple, the middle number guys, and they were just like, yeah, you don't really think about, numbers 1 through 40.
Put it out of your head.
Yeah. But then.
Wait, did you watch the documentary?
Yeah, we watched.
Nice.
I didn't even know about it, but my wife put it on, and very interesting. I'd give it, a C+. As a,
Okay.
you know, the YouTuber's kind of a boring dude, but it's
Yeah.
worth watching. But like the Airbnb, like when they first get there, they were like, "Hey, stop being sketchy outside the Airbnb. Like, you know, take a
Yeah,
lap."
what did the Airbnb say about 100 dudes coming in and out?
Well, all right. So that I'm glad you asked that because the news article. Let me pull that up. All right, the host finally found out recently about that this happened. I guess from watching the documentary, and then they're like, that is in the headline. They're going to be facing a ban from Airbnb for potential violation of the rentals guest policy. And then I'm like, all right, well, I wonder what.
What did the guest policy specify? Don't bang
like
100 dudes.
Yeah, which rule? And then
Yeah.
I'm scrolling for that information, and at the very end, it offers up that. Let me see.
Like
Okay,
too many
Phillips,
guests?
Yeah, exactly. Phillips also seemed to have violated the house rules on the maximum number of guests allowed by inviting over 100 people to the rental. Okay, but they probably didn't want. They're also not the only.
They don't want 100 people at once.
Exactly.
One at a time, no rules against
And
that.
so in the documentary, you ascertain that there's always like, you know, a waiting room of a few guys.
It's every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
and you got to be ready to go.
Right.
But there's never more than, I don't know, like 20 people in there.
At
So
once?
yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
After you
Would
get
make
in, you get
sense.
out, and now you're like shame. And you get out of there and regret
Shame,
what
shame.
you've just done.
Oh God! All the other guys are gonna know how long or short you like took in there.
Before she cried, like, no, I'm not laughing at that, but before that, he was asking her these questions, and she was like, or no, I think it was afterwards. So like all the articles about she cried, like they kind of clip it up. Like she goes on to explain, she's like, well, I just feel so bad because, you know, sometimes like, you know, the guy got there late or something. He's like, it came all this way to have sex with me, and like I had to cut him off after 5 minutes, and
Oh
like
God!
that was her big.
That's what she was crying about.
Yeah.
Wow.
She goes on to explain that. So there's that.
They knew that it was only 5 minutes when they signed up.
Yeah.
No reason to feel bad, Lily.
I was just hoping she'd, you know, be like, you know what?
Yeah, be like, actually,
We're
this is
calling
great.
it.
Let's keep going.
I fell in love with number 36.
Right. Wrap it up.
You know what? I've changed. Yeah. So now I don't under. You're right. The physics don't, or the math. If it took you 14 hours to get through 100,
Yeah.
how are you going to get through the other 900 and the
yeah.
remaining 10? That doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense. I guess you'd have to cut it to like a pump and dumps, or you know.
Yeah.
Like
Like 10 seconds each or something.
Yeah. Then she was like talking about how like it was a little awkward because like she doesn't get to like. She made it seem like she enjoys the fan hookups because like, you know, she's just real sexual and like she gets to like experience this person. But when you're going just for sheer numbers,
Yeah.
you kind of
Not that enjoyable.
can't make that argument that you're going for the connection. I don't know.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That also said
Dude, I
that
bet she's making so much money on
Yeah.
OnlyFans right now.
I'm sure that thing's popping off
Yeah.
now.
Even just if the 100 guys just subscribe to watch themselves. I mean,
You have to at least subscribe for 1 month to
Right.
see that. Yeah, to see what happened, see what's on
Yeah.
what ended up on.
check it out.
Yeah, and then I guess the only question remains is you know, the next
Was she banned?
Airbnb. Well, yeah, was she banned, and then will she be reinstated in time for the
For the
1,000
1,000 guys? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Just Google, what is the Guinness Book of World Records for, how'd you even phrase it?
I'm going to
For
instead of
most
asking,
men fucked in a day, I guess.
I was going to ask ChatGPT
Yeah,
instead.
ChatGPT. Why would I even say Google?
Well, now shit's not loading, but this information out before we switch.
What is the Guinness Book of World Records for most men slept with by a woman in one day? It does not recognize or certify records related to sexual activity. Damn.
Damn.
Well, what is the world record outside of the Guinness Book?
Oh, I thought that was an AI like screening, but that was Guinness screening it.
The most commonly cited unofficial record for the number of sexual partners a woman has had in just one day is often attributed to adult film actress Lisa Sparks. 919 men over the course of 12 hours.
Well, I guess it
The
can be done.
2004 Annual World Gangbang Championship in Poland. Wait, there's a gangbang championship?
All right, yeah, we need to know more about that annual world.
Oh, God. Yeah. Going down a rabbit hole here. Is in Poland.
I was just wondering if that's still going on, but that is not pulling up what I thought it would on my phone when I Googled annual world gangbang championship. No information at all on that competition, whether it's still being conducted, but
Oh my
lots of
gosh.
links to videos. Literally every single link, not a single non-video. Yeah, I'm not
Events like this are controversial and have raised concerns about exploitation, consent, and dignity.
All right, well, yeah, hopefully Lily, friend of the show, will come on.
Right, Lily, come holler at us. We promise not to bang you.
You are an Airbnb host and you notice that in your Airbnb property, there are lights being cut on and off, doors opening and closing. Totally normal, right? It would be, except no one booked your Airbnb for this said night. The house is supposed to be completely empty. So you do what any reasonable person would do. You call the police. This happened to an Airbnb host in 2021.
I was very interested by the perspective. I thought she was talking about herself, you know? When she was doing the you and stuff.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah, that was a weird way to phrase this. I can't tell if she's talking about a ghost or a break-in. Let's see.
Guess we'll find out.
So this lady notices all this activity in her house and thinks that she's being burglarized. So she calls the police shows up, she explains the layout of the house, that there are 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 downstairs, and that it should be completely empty because everyone that would have been in the house outside of Airbnb guests are out of town. So the police, fully expecting there to be an intruder, goes inside of the house and takes a look. And this is what their body cam footage picked up.
Why don't they turn the lights on? Why are they using a flashlight? Is there no power in this Airbnb?
Is that? Do cops? I feel like they're always waving around their flashlights, though. I don't know what protocol is.
Okay, you didn't thoroughly look into that bathroom. I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Why would you want to surprise the thief? Just turn the fucking lights on.
Oh, that's just...
The door just moved. Did you see that?
Yeah, but like, wind gust.
I forgot you're very, like, skeptical of ghosts. This cop is scared. Look how hard he's breathing.
That or just like out of shape too.
True.
He just hit those stairs.
Right.
Why did the arrow point to this room?
Did we miss something?
Well, no. I mean, I don't think so. Oh yeah.
Oh, the door moving. That's what they're pointing to. The door just opened there too. Maybe it's just drafty. Did that open it? No, he opened it.
Or was that the spirits controlling him? I don't know. Hard to tell.
This cop's about to shit his pants. Pussy.
No one said, "Oh my God."
Why is it? Yeah,
I didn't hear, "Oh my God."
exactly.
Adding your own. This is when it's like, bah, and you're dead, you know. And
Is it gonna be? This would be great for one of those videos that like gets you all intense, and then something jumps out of the screen to scare you.
Her.
Yeah.
This is an Airbnb property. A lot of people are like, why didn't you turn on the lights? That poses a threat
Yeah.
to the policeman that's investigating, because what if there was a real suspect?
That's what I said.
They needed to be inconspicuous, but this was absolutely...
How inconspicuous are they when they're like, police, is anybody in here?
The host said that she didn't know of any paranormal activities. I don't know if I believe that or if she just got this rental property for the sake of being Airbnb host. But just tell me what y'all think down in the comments because this was absolutely crazy.
So we're talking about that right there. That's basically the only thing that happened.
No, if that happened a few times though, like
Okay.
other doors that happened too. But my question is, how did they know that doors were opening and closing in the Airbnb for them to even call the police?
I guess hearing them go, you know.
From where? Where are they? Like the house is empty. They're saying nobody's there. Was she about to check into this Airbnb and heard that?
I guess it must have been.
Is she the guest? So she called the police or the host called the police?
I mean, I would like to get a host in here. Like their story is like, all right, I got a cancellation notice because my fucking
guest thought there was ghosts in
my
the house. Yeah.
because they heard a door opening.
Right.
You know, like that's what's really happened here. And like, well, we have a police report. So
Exactly.
that
Did you
means
see the body cam footage? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't believe in ghosts, so I think
Yeah.
it's stupid. But I would have probably thought it was stupid no matter what.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I could be. I don't know. I'm like agnostic about ghosts.
I would
maybe,
definitely
maybe
be
not.
willing
We'll
to-
never know.
I'd be willing to sleep in another haunted Airbnb.
Yeah. I mean, we did do that.
Yeah,
We
we
spent
did.
the night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, everybody else chickened out. Only me and you spent the night. Trey.
Our producer's a pussy.
That's hilarious.
He doesn't want to get unalived in some house.
Oh, man. We did a Ouija board and everything.
Yeah, that was fun. I was like kind of trying to spell shit. And
I knew it. I knew it. It was you the whole time.
My friends and I booked an Airbnb with hidden cameras, and I have been waiting to tell this story. It's probably going to need to be 2 parts, but I promise it's worth it.
all right.
So my friends and I booked an Airbnb. We looked at the reviews. It's in an area we're familiar with, where we all went to college, and it looks great. You know, checks out, did our research. So I booked it through my account. It's the night before we're all supposed to leave, so I reach out to the host, which I now realize is a property management company, and say, hey, one of my friends who is a registered guest on the listing is going to be getting there before me. I need the check-in information to give to her so she can get into the house. And they're like, oh, well, we don't actually have that information. Like, you're going to have to call Beth, because she's like the property management person in person, and she's going to be able to help you. So right off the bat, I'm like, something's fishy. Like, this feels weird. But what do I know? So I text the woman the next morning, and she calls me right away, and I explain the situation, and she's all up in arms. That's not going to work. Our policy is it has to be the person that booked the listing.
I find it interesting already, given that we already know where this is heading, why there's such sticklers about that rules like that. If you're just trying to...
Right, let it ride, and you can
Yeah.
see whatever nudity you want to see or like freaky shit.
Exactly.
That's weird.
No,
Yeah,
only
that is weird to be
we
like...
aren't only registered freaks.
Exactly. Only the freak that booked the Airbnb, nobody else.
Come on now. I could see your picture. I don't know what the other person looks
Right.
like.
No, I want it to be you, your fine ass, not your ugly ass friends.
So I like go back and forth, and I finally convinced her, let me give her your phone number, and then she'll call you when she gets there and get the code, because the code could not be in writing. That was like her number one thing. Like, oh, I can't share the code over text. Okay, whatever.
That's pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, that you won't share the code over text.
You ever get that with like someone like with their social security number? I'm like, all right, and then I will immediately put it down in their phone. Like, you know, I'm gonna put it. In
What
my
are you
system.
doing with people's social security numbers?
You know, you have to take it for like
For work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like someone who's like really weird about like putting it in writing. I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna go in writing.
In writing, I'm about to,
in my
yeah.
system
Right,
immediately when I
exactly.
send it to the insurance company. But okay, sure, read it to me.
Right.
Thought it was weird. She also tried to ask a bunch of like personal questions, like, oh, like, what are you guys in town for? Like, who's coming? Like, that sort of thing.
None of your fucking
But
business.
I, at the time, not knowing now how the story ends, I think I would have maybe thought it was weirder. So I go back to work. I check my phone a couple hours later, and I have a missed call from her and a text being like, oh, you need to call me. Again, why? So I hop on the phone, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's, again, all up in arms. Well, we've been waiting for months to get a thermostat installed, and the only appointment they have available is tomorrow at 8 a.m. And it's just really inconvenient that you guys are going to be in the house at that time.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, inconvenient for you? It's inconvenient for me.
Yeah.
I was like, honestly, I'm spending $300 a night to stay here. Like, I don't really want to have to deal with random people coming in the house.
What if that's when they're coming to get the SD card full of all the news?
Oh, 8 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, you
maybe?
would think you would be able to come at any time.
They probably don't
like
need to
right before they
schedule that.
check in.
Also, it's a lady she's talking to. Is it like a creepy ass, freaky ass lady host this
That's
time?
also probably a good, was it just Jelaine? Every pervert needs like a right hand woman.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, like we've just been waiting so long. And I was like, honestly, like I'm not comfortable. Like, I'm sorry, but I think you're going to need to reschedule that appointment. And she was like, fine. Like, oh, I guess that's fine. Like, super pissed off. So I text my friends at this point and I'm like, we are probably going to die. Like, something feels weird. I literally even told my boss, like, if I go missing this weekend, this is what happened. My friend calls the lady, gets the code, then calls me as she's trying to put the code in the door. And it's not working. Like, it is very clearly the wrong code.
What was it?
And I'll preface by saying, this Airbnb listing said that there were outdoor cameras. That's fine. What's not fucking fine is as she's trying to put the code in, a man's voice starts coming through the front door camera. And it's like, hey, are you trying to get in? Here's the code. Completely different fucking code. And this one works. So again, fucking weird. She goes,
That is weird.
I'm not.
What would be the
fighting.
purpose of the wrong code situation?
Well, all right, that could
Is
have
she
been a
just
mistake.
pissy because they made her reschedule the thermostat?
If it was a retaliatory thing, that'd be super weird. But if it was just a mistake,
Because she said completely different code, though.
Yeah, but like, what if you change it often and she's
Maybe.
got this stupid no writing it down
Right.
system?
So maybe
and
she just
that
hasn't
leads-
memorized it wrong.
Or like, oh shit, that has some. I mean, I'm just saying. And then the Ring camera answering also isn't weird to me.
Yeah, that's not that weird.
Like you get a notification, you're like, oh shit, and then like, oh man,
Does
Beth,
she think it's weird? 'Cause
Beth always never writes shit down, and so now we got to go.
maybe she's just saying that the weird part was that the code was a completely different code.
Yeah.
And it was a completely different person, a man, answering on the camera.
But yeah, I'm wondering.
See,
if she
this
think-
guy's like, hell yeah, come on in so I can spy on you doing freaky ass.
The code is 6969. Come on in.
fucking weird. She goes inside and she's like, it is literally -12 in here. It is fucking freezing. And I'm like, well,
Our nipples.
thanks,
There we
darling.
go.
So she's like, I have to call this lady back and see if I can get the heat on.
Why don't you like go back to the
She's gonna be
doorbell?
like, well, you should have let me install the thermostat,
Yeah,
bitch.
that's true. And also, like, when you like go back up to the doorbell camera and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm calling Beth, but you know Beth.
She's not answering. Yeah.
She's like walking through and she's like, something's fucking weird. Like there's shoes by the door. There's a creepy, like weird mirror in the bathroom that's like broken to fit in between the corners so it faces the toilet. Like weird fucking shit.
What?
And she was like, yeah, the lady on the phone told me to take my sneakers off. And I'm like, yeah, like I saw it on the listing. They don't want shoes in the house, like whatever.
How did she know you had
So
sneakers
she keeps
on?
walking around and this lady texts her again and says, take your sneakers off. And
What?
maybe it's the true crime in me, but I'm like, humor me. Are you wearing sneakers specifically? She's like, yeah. And I'm like,
How'd she know they
they're
were
watching you.
sneakers?
They're fucking watching you. She would just say shoes. They're watching you. And she's like, Alyssa, there's a fucking camera. And I'm like, pardon? And sure as shit, in the corner of the room she was in, there's a camera. In the room she was in had a bed. So now I'm fucking freaking out because that's against policy and also ew.
Yeah.
And so she starts poking around and
Why would you
she finds
immediately
another
tell on
one
yourself, though?
behind,
Like,
a
take
little
off those
sheer
red
curtain
sneakers.
in the living room.
Like, what?
So we look up Airbnb's camera policy, and it has to be, indoor cameras have to be noted on the listing. They have to be visible, fully visible, and they have to not be facing bathrooms or sleeping spaces. So, like, 3 fucking strikes and you're out. So, obviously, we reach out to Airbnb, and at first they try and, like, brush us off. And they're like, oh, well, the listing says there's cameras. But, like, no, it says there's outdoor cameras, bitch. But once we sent the picture of the camera that was facing the bed, that was kind of, like, all they needed. And we actually got escalated, like, pretty quickly to the right person. Took a little bit of a Karen voice, but we got there. And
That's
then
because Airbnb
they
was watching
said,
No.
"We're so sorry, we're going to pay for your hotel. We're going to refund you for the first half of your trip. And then we're going to launch a formal investigation. And once those results are in, we'll refund the second half." So they concluded the investigation like a month later, and they did refund my second half. I will say I've seen other listings from the same property management company, which seems like not good. Then like throughout the weekend, we kept getting calls from Beth. Like, I don't like that this woman still has my fucking number. But that's our story.
What the fuck else did Beth want after that? Like,
I would have wanted to Yeah. Man, so Beth was the one who was calling about the shoes.
Yeah.
I bet you dude from the doorbell camera is pretty pissed off.
I know. He's like, you're ruining this for me. But like, again, if you're going to have hidden cameras and shit, like why immediately tell on yourself like that?
Yeah, I wonder if they were kind of trying to pretend that
It seems like these might have been cameras for like an overzealous host, like making sure you take off your sneakers and shit rather than like trying to see freaky ass shit.
I think so too. And I was looking at 2023, so this is before they switched their policy, because that was last year.
Well, what is the policy now?
Or no, it was early this year, excuse me. Well, no. Now
This is 2025, yeah.
Oh man, it's like when you sign a January check wrong, yeah. It's the new policy is no indoor cameras at all. So the old policy that she just cited was they had to be very visible. So like at my Airbnb,
because I mean, if you're in an Airbnb, like you're not necessarily only going to be doing like freaky ass shit or being like naked in the bedroom or the bathrooms. Like you could do anything anywhere.
My argument would be, all right, that's fine, but if we make it up front,
but if we tell you there's a camera,
and
then
you just
like,
forget about it, well, that's what happens to every reality TV person.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
And that's why I got some great freaky shit in my living room. So I wonder how they're enforcing their shoe policy now at that Airbnb.
That's so funny. Immediately told on herself.
I saw it on the way in.
Yeah.
So I've officially had my very first problem as an Airbnb host with a guest.
I already hate him.
11:36 and I still haven't brushed my teeth. You know, us Airbnb hosts of TikTok make Airbnb look like it's a fun game, and it really is most of the time. But sometimes I question why I do it. So I got woken up very early into the morning for multiple messages saying, hey, your guests are being extremely loud. We're calling the cops. I said, oh, don't do that. They said, too late. We've already done it. So I get the pleasure of going to kick the guy out. And he was like, we weren't loud. I have no idea what they're talking about.
He's like a poor man's Ace Ventura.
Jim Carrey. He is very Jim Carrey-esque.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do not like him.
The cops were called. They were there. Don't play dumb with me. And now, mind you, this guy had a 5-star rating with multiple reviews, and he messaged back and forth with me and agreed to all my house rules. Which clearly states, no parties, no smoking, only 4 guests allowed. Motherfucker had like 15 people and blew down the whole building. And agreed to the house rules. So just goes to show you, Airbnb is not all glitz and glamour. We make good money, but people suck.
All that drama for that story.
People do suck, Bryce.
Yeah, you included, Bryce. God.
I gotta say, that one, I didn't realize that part also bothered me.
Immediately made me angry. I'm like, still angry.
Well, I was actually, I'm surprised at how much I hated his story.
I was not surprised. I knew from the beginning I would hate this a lot.
Well, all right. I agree. Like, after the first sentence, it was very clear that we would hate him. But, all right. Imagine, like, me, because it's just, you get that first 2 seconds and I hit pause. Right? So let's just hear it, that first split second again. Should I have known better?
Yeah.
So I've officially had my very first problem.
Yeah, I guess I should have. I should have known.
And I feel like the volume is louder than other TikToks. Like, why are you so loud?
He somehow,
like you know, like when you're watching something and then all of a sudden the commercial is super loud.
That's the worst part about streaming.
Yeah.
Quick story about renting an Airbnb, and to make sure you read all the house rules and take pictures of everything before and when you book. So when we booked, these were the house rules. These were just some of the rules outside of the normal rules. You know, they had quiet time from 10 to 6 a.m., telling us they have cameras in the front yard, the backyard, and that they're going to charge for $50 for any unregistered guest. And early check-ins and late checkouts will be $25 per each hour. These, again, are more additional rules that the party had. Please take off shoes. We provide house sandals, flip-flops. I don't know about you. I don't like wearing other people's sandals. And a big one on here, it says no events, no parties.
I wonder why they're letting them know about your Google Nest is in the rules section.
Yeah.
But it is. And make sure, we have Alexa, make sure you talk to her.
Right. You must talk to Alexa. She gets lonely.
So about 2 weeks before our check-in, I asked the host, hey, how much would it be to check in at like noon on the day we were going to check in? Me and my girlfriend were going to be in a little earlier, and, you know, we wanted to go unpack our things and, you know, go out for the day, not with everything in my car. The host replies with this. She gives us permission to check in early at 1. She'll set the passcode up and to please read all the house rules below and text confirm. that we've reviewed and understand the house rules. Press pause. These are just basic rules again.
See number 10?
No eating or drinking. Period.
Except, I wonder what the exception
Maybe
is to
it's
being
like
able to...
except in the
yeah,
kitchen.
I'm certain it's got to be. Otherwise,
That's bullshit.
No bonfires, no smoking, vaping. Basic rules. Number 8, no shoes, no sandals in the house. Number 9, no unregistered guests. Mind you, we're going to be a big party. We're going to be about 11 people. Then it goes on to no eating or drinking except clear waters in the bedroom. You spill it, you clean it, max alcohol allowance. Number 12.
What? A max alcohol allowance?
That's funny.
1 bottle of wine per guest per day or 3 bottles of beer per guest? How the fuck are you supposed to enforce that?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever stayed somewhere they try to not let you bring your own booze?
What? No.
I've done that.
Where?
Where
Would that be a thing?
It's been a long, long time.
How would they even know if you brought your own booze?
I did it anyways.
Yeah.
But someone said something to me when there was something on top.
Was it like an all-inclusive place and they said don't bring your own or what?
I think so. This is a long time ago. I
So
not
weird.
stayed in one. Yeah. But yeah, that's really absurd to do.
Yeah.
Unless you got your cameras, how are you gonna know?
Number 12. 1 bottle of wine per guest per day. 3 bottles of beer per guest per day.
Per day is wild.
You don't want any unruly drunk people in your Airbnb.
All right.
Put all the remotes back. They charge $100 per remote. I don't understand why. I could have just bought them a whole new one for $30.
$100 a remote controller is pretty wild because those are easy to lose.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what if they just swipe that remote and then now they got $100 extra? That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think that's how much remotes cost, but...
You're responsible for everything. Follow me for part 2.
Oh, we're still on the rules. We haven't, part 2 is still just more rules.
I got to tell you.
Oh my God, we had one of these before. I wonder if it's the same thing. Pets, $2,000 per pet per day. Noise prohibited, $1,000 per time. I think we've seen, maybe it was the same host, but a different person telling the story.
Or same management company.
Yeah.
That's the name of their game.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Alcohol prohibited, so I guess that's beyond the allotted amount, $20 a bottle?
$20 a bottle.
Restroom prohibited.
Eating or drinking prohibited, $50 per... We've definitely had another story that's the same host, because I remember the eating or drinking prohibited part.
Or maybe like a copycat killer type
Yeah,
situation.
maybe
Look
maybe
at all this
there's a
money
lot
you
of
can make
crazy-ass hosts like this.
fucking charging people out the ass for stupid shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know who invited us. I think his name Black. Let me see some IDs.
I do have 5 licenses on me, but I found them yesterday walking here? What? Why would he admit to having 5 licenses on him?
Because he knows he's about to get found with them.
Wow. But in case you don't, how about don't admit to it yet? Wait and see what happens.
I think it's also funny when obviously when anyone's in this scenario, it comes let me see some IDs, he means your ID, your ID, your ID. He's like, I do have IDs.
How did you know that I had IDs? That's hilarious.
I got 5 of them, but I got an explanation. Don't worry. I found them on my walk over here when Black invited me.
When Black invited me.
Wow. What is do they? And also these captions. I wish can we get a hold of this body cam footage?
I want to hear the real audio instead of the captions.
Yeah,
so that means the cleaners came, he was still asleep. They called the police. The police came, and he was still knocked the fuck out. There's also a whole handle of Jameson on the table. He's probably really drunk.
He probably did.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? They know about the IDs. They caught me.
We did have our first bad guest this past summer. Let me tell you about it. We have these guests, and there's just a few rules that we have with owning an Airbnb because we want to be considerate of our neighbors, our neighborhood, keep everything really nice. So we only allow 4 cars parked in our driveway and garage, okay? No parties, no drugs, etc. Right? Very reasonable. Quiet hours are the city quiet hours, so 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., like very standard. So all week we're getting complaints from our neighbors.
I have not heard a single thing because I'm staring at this mole on her forehead. Literally, I have no idea what she said. I'm like, mole. Nice to mole you. Meet you.
Well, I'm going to try and get past the mole, and we'll see what she has to say about.
All week we're getting complaints from our neighbors. Your guests are listening to music really loud, and our noise aware is going off. So we're contacting them, telling them they have to turn it down. It's too loud. It's exceeding the decibel limit that we have set. And they're like, so sorry, we'll turn it down. They turn it down for a little bit. It go right back up.
That's how it goes sometimes at a party, you know?
Yeah.
Like, keep it down, yeah.
But if they have a decimal reader, like, then they're going to know when you turn it right back up.
I just, people start being like, all right, let me,
Fuck it, right.
And so after 3 days of this, we finally contacted Airbnb and we were like, listen, we've asked the guests this many times. We have documentation. They're not turning it down. We need you to contact them. So Airbnb contacts them, tells them that they have to turn the music down, and this is kind of their last warning. And at this point, and when we contacted Airbnb, we noticed on our cameras, because we accessed our cameras, they had parked 8 cars on the lawn. So they're having a full-blown fiesta at our property.
Parking on the lawn is so ratchet, too. Like, why the lawn?
Yeah, just down the street a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick little story time, right? One of my cleaners had called off for work, called off today because they had a family emergency. So I said, I'll go over there and clean it. But I was already in area, so I was like, I'll go over there and clean it. But I go in there, put the key in the door like I do usual. Walk up, the dude walk up to me like, boy, like he was trying to shoot me. I instantly spazzed out because I'm thinking to myself, what are y'all still doing here? That ain't even the crazy part. I walk in the room, I just heard a bunch of chatting. It's one girl in a bed and 5 boys.
Wait, did the guy, at the beginning of the story, is there a gun involved? He just
Yeah,
glossed right
and then
over
he
that?
glossed over that? Is this
He's
the
like-
host? I'm already confused. Let's start over.
Yeah.
But
And
what,
he's like,
did a guy
pulls a gun
open
on
the
him,
door with the gun and he's just like,
and
whatever?
he's like, but they had extra guests. It says
Yeah.
4 hosts max. What the hell? You're allowed to have one gun, but
Quick little story time, right? One of my cleaners had called off for work, called off today because they had a family emergency. So I said, I'll go over there and clean it. But I was already in area, so I was like, I'll go over there and clean it. But I go in there, put the key in the door like I do usual. Walk up, the dude walk up to me like, boy, like he was trying to shoot me. I instantly spazzed out because I'm thinking to myself, what are y'all still doing here? That ain't even the crazy part.
What about the gun? Maybe he's just doing this with his fingers.
It's one girl in a bed and 5 boys. So I'm watching everything, what's going on. I go in the other room, it's 2 other boys. So mind you, only supposed to have 4 guests is the max. They had what, 5, 6, about 8 of them, 8 or 9 of them. All of them had the same facial features, so I'm thinking like they all brothers and sisters. Mind you, you're supposed to check out at 10 o'clock. I get there, it's 12:30, they still in there. So they starting grabbing their stuff, walking out to we was waiting on our ride. Waiting on the ride, you could have waited on your ride outside. These young.
Was that you or did it just stop mid-sentence?
yeah. He sat there and kept recording without telling that fucking story.
I know. I think that was the whole story, is that there's just a bunch of people in there and it's time to check out.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a gangbang.
I thought so too. The numbers,
One girl, yeah.
not quite Lily
Right, exactly.
numbers, but all right. Well, Gingerbread Man, I hope things turn around on your Airbnb.